Before we dive into this unbelievable story, hit that subscribe button on the channel, turn on notifications, and join our community for more shocking tales that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Your support means the world and helps us bring these narratives to life. I never thought my quiet life as a black farmer in rural Alabama would turn into something out of a mystery novel. It all started on a foggy morning when I was tending to my crops near the old abandoned mill. The sheriff, Elias Hawthorne, had vanished 15 years ago without a trace, leaving the town in whispers and unsolved questions. Folks said he was taken by outlaws or drowned in the river, but no body was ever found. That day, as I cleared some overgrown brush, I stumbled upon a hidden shack buried deep in the woods. My heart raced as I approached, hearing faint noises from inside. Peering through a crack in the door, I saw a disheveled man with a long beard, cooking over a small fire. He looked familiar, like a ghost from the past. When he turned, our eyes met, and I froze in recognition. It was him, the missing sheriff, alive after all these years. Shock hit me like a thunderbolt. I backed away, my mind spinning with disbelief. How could Sheriff Hawthorne be here, hidden in my own backyard for over a decade? I remembered the searches, the posters, the town meetings where everyone mourned his loss. He was a stern man, known for his iron fist against crime in our segregated town. As a black farmer, I'd kept my distance, aware of the racial tensions back then. But now, here he was, looking frail and broken, nothing like the authority figure I recalled. I gathered my courage and knocked on the door, my voice trembling as I called out his name. The door creaked open, and he stared at me with wide, haunted eyes. "Who are you?" he whispered, but I could see the fear in his gaze. I told him I was just a local farmer, and that's when the real story began to unfold. He invited me inside the shack, which was a mess of old newspapers, canned goods, and makeshift furniture. As we sat, he poured me a cup of weak coffee, his hands shaking. I asked the question burning in my mind: why had he disappeared? He sighed deeply, staring at the floor, and said it all started with a corrupt deal gone wrong. 15 years ago, he was involved in covering up a scandal with powerful landowners. They were evicting black families like mine to seize land for profit. He took bribes to look the other way, but guilt ate at him. One night, he faked his death to escape the threats and his own conscience. Living in isolation was his punishment, he said. But there was more, something he hesitated to reveal. As he spoke, I noticed scars on his arms, remnants of a life on the run. He confessed that the town thought he was a hero, but he was a coward at heart. The discovery shook me. I'd always seen him as the law, untouchable and white-privileged. Now he was just a man, broken by his choices. I asked if anyone else knew he was alive, and he shook his head, saying he'd cut all ties. But then he mentioned a name, my late father's name, which made my blood run cold. He said my father had confronted him about the evictions back then. That's when the pieces started connecting in my head. Was there a personal link here? He paused, tears welling up, and whispered that he had a secret about my family. The air grew thick with anticipation. Pressing him further, I demanded to know what he meant about my father. He leaned back, wiping his face, and began a tale that shattered my world. It turned out, during those dark days of segregation, he and my father had crossed paths in unexpected ways. My father, a proud black sharecropper, had evidence of the sheriff's corruption. Instead of turning him in, they struck a secret alliance against the landowners. But things went south when the landowners found out. The sheriff staged his disappearance to protect my family from retaliation. All these years, he'd been watching from afar, ensuring our farm stayed safe. It was surreal. The man I'd feared was actually a guardian in hiding. Yet, there was still a bombshell waiting. As the sun dipped low, he pulled out an old, dusty box from under his bed. Inside were letters, photos, and documents yellowed with age. He handed me one, a birth certificate that listed him as the father of a child born to a black woman in the 1950s. My mind reeled. This implied a forbidden relationship during Jim Crow times. He confessed he had loved her deeply, but society forced them apart. The child? It was my half-sibling, unknown to me until now. But the real shock was coming. He looked me in the eye and said the discovery went deeper. I braced myself as he continued. The pieces of my identity were about to crumble. With a trembling voice, he revealed that the woman was my own mother, making him my biological father. I stared in horror, denial flooding my thoughts. How could this be? My mother had never spoken of it, raising me with the man I called Dad. He explained it was a brief affair, hidden to protect everyone from scandal and violence. When she chose to stay with her husband, he respected it but never forgot. His disappearance was partly to atone for abandoning us. As a black farmer, I'd faced prejudice, but learning my blood tied to the white sheriff was earth-shattering. Anger mixed with confusion as I processed this. The missing sheriff was my father. I stood up, pacing the small shack, my world tilting on its axis. He begged me to understand, saying he'd sent anonymous help to our farm over the years. Crop failures averted, loans mysteriously paid. It was him, from the shadows. But why reveal now? He said his health was failing, and he couldn't die with the secret. As a black man discovering his white heritage, I felt a storm of emotions. Betrayal, curiosity, identity crisis. The town would never believe this twist. He asked for forgiveness, but I needed time. Leaving the shack, I promised to return, my mind a whirlwind. That night, back on my farm, I pored over the documents under lamplight. Everything checked out, dates, names, even a faded photo of him with my mother. The sheriff who'd enforced segregation laws was my father, a hypocrite in love. I thought of the ironies, a black farmer finding his white parent after 15 years. Sleep evaded me as questions swirled. What would my family say? How would this change my life? The discovery was profound, linking past injustices to my present. Dawn broke with resolve. I had to confront this truth. Returning to the shack became inevitable. The next day, I went back, armed with questions and a tentative acceptance. He was waiting, looking friendlier than before. We talked for hours, bridging the gap of lost years. He shared stories of regret, of fighting inner demons in solitude. As a black farmer, I saw the complexity of human frailty beyond race. The discovery that he was my father healed old wounds I didn't know existed. We agreed to keep it quiet for now, but the bond was forming. Leaving, I felt a strange peace. The missing sheriff was found, and so was a part of me. Word spread slowly in town about a sighting in the woods, but I kept my mouth shut. As the black farmer who'd found him, I became the center of whispers. People asked if I'd seen ghosts or clues to the old case. I deflected, protecting our secret. Meanwhile, I visited him regularly, bringing food and news. He opened up about his life in hiding, foraging, avoiding trails, living like a hermit. The discovery of our relation changed everything. He wasn't just a sheriff, but family. Racial divides that once separated us blurred in these talks. I learned of his efforts to sabotage the landowners from afar. Forgiveness crept in slowly. One evening, he showed me a journal detailing the events leading to his disappearance. Entries spoke of threats from corrupt officials who wanted him silenced. He faked a boating accident, leaving clues to suggest drowning. For 15 years, he'd survived on wits and remorse. As his son, I felt a mix of pride and pain reading his words. The black farmer in me related to his struggles against power. But the discovery deepened. He had evidence that could expose old crimes. Handing it to me, he said it was my inheritance. The weight of justice now rested on my shoulders. I confided in my wife, sharing the unbelievable truth over dinner. Her eyes widened at the revelation that the missing sheriff was my father. We discussed the implications for our children, our farm, our place in town. As a black family, this white lineage could bring scrutiny or opportunities. She urged caution, fearing backlash. But the discovery ignited a fire in me to right past wrongs. I began researching the old evictions, connecting dots to current land disputes. The sheriff, my father, offered guidance from his shack. Our secret meetings became strategy sessions. Tensions rose when a local reporter sniffed around my farm, asking about woodland rumors. I denied everything, but suspicion grew. My father warned me of remaining enemies from his past. As the black farmer thrust into this drama, I felt exposed. The discovery of his survival and our bond put us both at risk. We planned his quiet return, perhaps under a new identity. But first, I needed to verify the document's authenticity. A trip to the county archives confirmed the scandals he described. The missing sheriff story was real, and so was our connection. Emotions peaked during a storm when I sheltered at his shack. Lightning illuminated his weary face as he recounted meeting my mother. Their love was forbidden, passionate, brief. He left to protect her from harm. As her son, hearing this humanized him. The black farmer in me understood forbidden loves in segregated times. The discovery healed generational scars. We hugged for the first time, father and son reunited after decades. Rain pounded the roof, mirroring my turbulent heart. A new chapter was beginning. With his health declining, I arranged for a doctor to visit discreetly. The diagnosis was grim. Years of isolation had taken a toll. As his son, I vowed to care for him. The discovery motivated me to integrate him into my life slowly. We discussed moving him to the farm's guest house. But town gossip intensified. Someone claimed to have seen a vagrant resembling the old sheriff. I deflected, buying time. The black farmer's quiet life was unraveling, but for a worthy cause. One day, he gave me a locket with my mother's photo inside. It was his most prized possession, kept through the years. Tears flowed as I held it, connecting to a past I never knew. The discovery that he was my father brought closure to my mother's unexplained silences. She had passed years ago, taking secrets to her grave. Now, I understood her strength. As a black farmer, this heritage empowered me. We planned a family meeting to reveal the truth gently. The revelation to my children was emotional. They met their grandfather in the shack. Wide-eyed, they listened to his tales. The missing sheriff became a living legend in their eyes. As the black farmer facilitating this, I felt proud. The discovery bridged races and generations. He taught them about history's injustices, his regrets fueling lessons. Bonds formed quickly, healing old divides. Authorities got wind of the rumors, launching an investigation. I had to act fast. Confronting the past, I helped him come forward officially. The town erupted in shock at the sheriff's return. As his son, I stood by him during press conferences. The discovery of our relation made headlines, challenging racial narratives. In the end, justice prevailed. Old cases reopened with his testimony. The black farmer who'd found him became a local hero. Our father-son bond grew strong, defying odds. The missing sheriff was home, and so was family. Reflecting on it all, I marveled at fate's twists. A simple farming chore led to this profound discovery. The sheriff, missing for 15 years, was my father, a truth that redefined me. As a black farmer, I'd overcome much, but this added layers to my identity. We rebuilt our lives together, sharing stories under the stars. Town attitudes shifted, some embracing change, others resisting. The bond we formed was unbreakable. Family dinners became rituals of healing and laughter. I learned his favorite recipes from his hidden years. Every moment strengthened our newfound connection. Secrets once buried now bloomed into understanding. In the end, it was a gift from the universe. He moved to the farm, helping with chores despite his frailty. His presence brought wisdom and reconciliation. The discovery inspired me to advocate for land rights, honoring my roots. As father and son, we faced prejudices head-on. Community events celebrated his return, turning mystery into triumph. We planted trees in memory of lost years. Neighbors began to visit, curious about our story. His tales captivated them, bridging old divides. Forgiveness spread like wildfire in the community. Our farm became a symbol of unity. Challenges tested us, but we grew stronger. The journey continued with hope. Health scares tested us, but we persevered. Doctors noted his resilience from years alone. The black farmer in me admired his survival. Our talks deepened, uncovering more family secrets. The discovery fostered forgiveness and growth. We explored old photo albums together. Memories resurfaced, painting a fuller picture. Children asked endless questions about Grandpa. His answers wove history into their lives. Bonds tightened with each passing day. Reflection brought peace to our souls. We embraced the future united. Media attention faded, leaving us in peace. I wrote a memoir, sharing our story anonymously at first. The Missing Sheriff's Tale captivated readers. As his son, I ensured his legacy was honest. Book signings drew crowds eager for truth. Interviews highlighted racial reconciliation themes. The discovery sparked broader conversations. Communities learned from our example. Healing extended beyond our family. Inspiration flowed to others in similar plights. The narrative became a beacon. Lives changed through shared vulnerability. Grandchildren played at his feet, erasing years of solitude. The discovery brought joy amid past pain. We planted a garden together, symbolizing new beginnings. Flowers bloomed as metaphors for renewal. Laughter echoed across the fields daily. He taught them survival skills from his hermit days. Wonder filled their eyes at his stories. As a black farmer, I cherished these moments. Generational wisdom passed seamlessly. The farm thrived under our combined efforts. Peace settled like a warm blanket. Happiness was our new normal. Looking back, the foggy morning changed everything. From farmer to finder of truths, my life transformed. The sheriff was family, discovered after 15 years. Reflections often brought tears of gratitude. We hosted gatherings for old friends. Reconciliation mended broken relationships. The discovery's impact rippled outward. Community ties strengthened remarkably. Personal growth was evident in us all. Hopes for a better tomorrow grew. The past no longer haunted us. Instead, it guided our path forward. Challenges arose, like old enemies resurfacing, but we stood united. The black farmer's strength prevailed. Legal battles ensued over past injustices. His testimony turned tides in court. Victories honored those wronged before. The discovery fueled a movement for equity. Allies rallied around our cause. Media revisited the story positively. Empowerment spread through education. We built a legacy of resilience. Triumphs outweighed the struggles. Unity became our greatest weapon. In quiet moments, he thanked me for finding him. The discovery was mutual healing. Whispers of gratitude filled our conversations. We watched sunsets from the porch swing. Peaceful silences spoke volumes. As father and son, we cherished simplicity. The black farmer's life gained deeper meaning. Reflections on race and family evolved. Bonds deepened with shared vulnerabilities. Forgiveness was complete and liberating. The journey taught invaluable lessons. Our story inspired many others. Today, our farm thrives, a testament to resilience. The story lives on in hearts and minds. Annual reunions celebrate our miracle. The missing sheriff found peace at last. As his son, I carry the torch forward. The discovery reshaped destinies profoundly. Community support grew exponentially. Hopes for equality burned brighter. Personal narratives became powerful tools. We embraced every twist of fate. Gratitude defined our daily lives. The adventure continued endlessly. And that's how a black farmer found the missing sheriff and discovered he was my father. A tale of secrets, race, and redemption. The experience taught me about hidden truths. Family bonds proved unbreakable against odds. Reflections often highlight life's ironies. We now advocate for forgotten stories. The black farmer's voice echoes stronger. Inspiration draws from our unlikely union. Generations will remember this chapter. Hope prevails in every retelling. The end is just a new beginning. Share this if it moved you. What secrets hide in your family tree? If this story gripped you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, enable notifications, and like this video to support more incredible narratives. Share your thoughts in the comments. What would you do in my shoes? Thanks for watching.